There's something for every imagination at your local comic shop. Visit ComicShopLocator.com to find a store near you.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the experience. This is Talking Shop. We're going to have so much fun today. I get to talk to two great people. One I've known for a little while and one I'm going to meet for the first time today. I'm super excited. But first, I want you to remember, hey, Wednesday is Comic Shop Day. You've got to go to your comic shop. How do you find a local comic shop? You use ComicShopLocator.com. Or just go to your regular comic shop you go to all the time. But hey, you might be traveling because of the weekend that it is. People might be off and traveling the country. Go try somewhere new. And we're talking to creators that have things that are coming out this week. So you can get super excited, jazzed up, and then call your local comic shop and say, I need that in my box. So up first, Joseph Schmalke.
How's it going?
Hello. Oh, man. Are you super excited for tomorrow? Because the buzz couldn't get any bigger for We Don't Kill Spiders.
Yeah, We Don't Kill Spiders. Is that coming out tomorrow?
Oh, maybe I'm early.
Yeah, I haven't even seen any comps for it or anything like that yet. But yeah, I've been working on that book for, I think me and you first talked about it like a year ago on, it was not quite a year, but it was a while ago. I've been working on this book, and it's pretty much all I'm working on for the rest of the year as well, finishing up the series. But yeah, I'm super excited about it. That and Cherry Blackbird and all the Black Caravan titles that are coming. I think this week we have Tales Told in Techno Horror from one of our teams at Black Caravan is coming out.
It's crazy. Since I get everything direct from Scout, I never know when release dates are either. So we're both in the same boat. So, because we premiered Tales Told in Techno Horror last week.
Right.
We had it in hand.
So, yeah. But We Don't Kill Spiders. Do you want me to pitch it? Or
Yeah. Give us what it means to you.
Yeah. The initial concept was supposed to take place in a modern day setting because I'm really into like true crime and all that kind of stuff. I listen to a lot of cold case files and stuff on Sirius XM or whatever. While I'm driving. But so I wanted to do, like a detective story. And as I was writing it, I realized that I thought the setting was just too boring. I wanted things to be limited because now you've got cell phones, you can communicate through internet and all this other stuff. Oh, yeah. So I was like, I'm going to go back further. And then, no, I'm going to go back even further. And then it became the Viking Age. And I was like, has anybody ever really done like a detective story in the Viking Age? And I was like, I don't think so. Maybe there's been one. I don't know. So anyways, it's a faithless Viking warrior detective who is sent to a small village to uncover a serial murderer. And the villagers think that it's this outcasted witch who lives on the outskirts of town. And she's a necromancer who deals in death magic. And the two of them come together to solve this murder.
Love it. The pitch is killer.
Yeah.
I was just thinking when you were saying that, is there another Viking era? I don't know of any Viking era, but surprisingly, there are some out there. So if anyone likes, I'm going to give them, if you like this, you might like We Don't Kill Spiders. If you're a fan of Britannia by Valiant, that is basically he's called a detectioner, which is kind of a weird, feels like a made up word. But that takes place during Roman rule. So,
yeah, it's playing on the idea that there are like first detectives or something like that out there. So, yep. Anyway, so that's that one. I have another book out, Cherry Blackbird, which is about a rock star that sold her soul for fame and fortune. When she turns 27, she's going to get dragged to hell. And the book starts off and she's 26 and she has 1 year left, and the devil comes to her and offers her a bargain where if she sends these 7 escaped souls that busted out of hell back, then he'll give her a pass. So that's that book. And
Okay,
then
so
yeah.
I have read that one, so I can actually. This is the thing that all my like my hackles go up, and I'm just like, when has any deal that has been made with the devil ever really been? Does he hold up his end of the bargain?
Yeah, I mean it's it's a cautionary tale, certainly, I guess, but you have to wait till you get to the end to see why it all went down the way it went down.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think out of the gate, she comes off as kind of a surly jerk, but you find out that as time goes on through the book, hopefully people see there's more humanity than they thought there was, and it is funny and exploitative. It's got that sort of vibe of one of those B movies that would have come out in the 70s or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's aware of itself as well.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think of her as being a character you couldn't kind of not identify with, but you couldn't see her side. She kind of feels like she's been. I know that you're probably going to tell the story of why she got cornered into it, because of course she had to have been. Who just says, "Hey, I need to be famous, so I've got this extra soul lying around."
Yeah, and that was, I think I rewrote that book like 14 times or something before I was finally done with it. That took a lot of time and effort to get that book out. There is actually a precursor story to it called The Infernal Pact. That's probably never going to go to publication other than what I have. I just independently sell it, but it ties into it. There's a lot of crossover characters and stuff like that. My artwork was pretty dog crap back then. So Cherry Blackbird's sort of, so the story behind that is I made it about 5 years ago at this point. Like, the book's totally done.
Mm-hmm.
I did a Kickstarter for it, and I put it out, a couple hundred people have it. And I broke it down into chapters because there's 5 chapters in the book. Took the 5 chapters, deconstructed it, and turned them into single issues. So that's what's coming out now. It's a book I made 5 years ago. So
okay, so if someone wants to get, like, they're a completionist and they have to have that prequel, how do they get it from you?
So I open my shop one weekend every month, and sometimes it's just open for a Saturday. I usually say ahead of time if it's going to be open Saturday or Sunday, or if it's all weekend. Part of the reason for this is that, I am a writer, I'm a publisher, I'm also an artist. I work all the time, and I can't spend every waking minute shipping stuff. So if I open it during this one weekend, I do all my packing and shipping that Monday and Tuesday and try and get all the orders out.
I just thought you were a marketing genius and creating extra need, because you're like,
it's not to
create a date.
It's not. If I could have it open all the time, I would. I mean, I'd like to make money every day, but it's just an unfortunate thing that, like, I only got so much time in the day, and I've got kids and I'm home and everything. I got to go there and spend time with them too. So that's why there's a limited window on when things are up. I usually tell people the week ahead of time, or I'll like, recently I said that I'd be open on the 24th because I have a virtual space at San Diego this year. I had it last year too, because before COVID hit, I was supposed to be in Artist Alley at San Diego, and then here we are. But so my San Diego presence there will lead you to the shop, but also my shop will just be open to the general public for that weekend.
That'll be easy. What is what do you type in if you're looking for your shop?
Joseph Schmalke. There's only one of there's like 8 Schmalkes in
all the world,
and the rest of them all live in Texas or Louisiana. I'm the only one up in Maine, and you can tell the difference between us pretty easily because there's no guns or, like, NRA flags on my Facebook post. My stuff is all comic book related. So.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, the other thing that we're doing to go along with San Diego this year is we're doing our first time ever a Black Caravan box. and it's an exclusive box with 4 variant covers that you can only get in the box, and then it comes with 4 ash cans as well. And we've told people about. I'll tell you the titles here, but I'm not going to tell you who the artists of the covers are because that's all like hush hush until.
Tease, yeah.
But there'll be an exclusive variant for We Don't Kill Spiders, Gods of Brutality, Count Draco Knuckle Duster, and the Electric Black. And then we'll have 4 ash cans, which will be Rad Wraith, Epic Tavern, Providence of Secrets, and Swamp Dogs. So all of that comes in one box. It's a custom Black Caravan box. It's $100. It's 1 per customer, and we're limiting it to 300 boxes.
That's a great one. I think.
And that one will have a whole website set up for it. It sells one thing. It sells this box, and that's it. So, and we'll probably try and throw in some extra swag and stuff too.
I think I may have been ridiculous and bought out the last Black Caravan boxes.
We got our scout boxes from like last October, which those, the value of those, I know people were complaining at first, but then Electric Black got optioned, and now all the books in there were quite valuable. So there you go.
It
Stop
makes
complaining,
sense.
people. It's got value. And that was the other thing too. Me and Rich, the co-publisher at Black Caravan, we talked about the value of this actual physical box. Everything soup to nuts that's in it. It's about $160 value, and we're selling it for $100. So there you go.
See, everybody, it's a bargain.
Yeah.
I do want to mention, if you were watching, you should totally interact on the sidebar over here. Joseph's been talking to us. He's super excited. He got CB from you when you were on with Henri. With Henri Company.
Oh yeah. I was on with Henri like a couple months ago when I was at my other studio. Like I just moved into this place last month. But when I interviewed him, I think it was also it was more of a blank void behind me than it is now. So I share this space with the one of the co-creators of Murder Hobo. He's in the office next door, Jason Lynch. So yeah, it's a good working environment. Artists tend to like ping pong off of one another every once in a while. So, and then I do have an intern, Alyssa Slauzabaum, who is in here Monday through Wednesdays as well.
Perfect. Charlie says that We Don't Kill Spiders is out in July. So this month, you don't have long to wait. It's one of 3 more Wednesdays that are coming.
And again, my pitch was kind of all over the place, but it's a faithless Viking warrior and a necromantic witch team up to solve a serial murder in the early Viking Age. There you go. Much better elevator pitch, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super easy. Schmalke, we both, I think, share a sick passion for true crime. What is your favorite true crime show?
Oh, wow. Well, I go through these phases. I just watched that one that was about Son of Sam and great jet cover of Season of the Witch at the beginning. Yeah. I forget what that one was called. But yeah, I used to have a collection of VHSs and stuff that were like, ominous voice and like dark and dirty type stuff. Bizarre was a weird one. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I've not seen that one.
It was this guy's a complete lunatic. He would like do horrible things to like heroin addicts, and I think it was Ohio, and like pop their eyes out of their head and electrocute them to death. Bizarre. Yeah, that one's tough to watch. That was actually produced by Trauma Pictures, and it's like a documentary style, but also has like reenactment. And it's tough to watch. But yeah, right now, a great book that you can read about true crime, because I'm all over the place with this stuff. Devil in the White City. Huh?
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
You can get a book on tape. I think they're going to make it into a movie too. And it's all about H.H. Holmes, who some think might have been Jack the Ripper as well. They're not 100%, but it all takes place during the Chicago World's Fair. He murdered a lot of people. I'll leave it at that. But it's an interesting story. Eric Larson, not the Eric Larson of comics. He's a novelist. He does true crime novelizations, but they're nonfiction. He's done Thunderstruck, which was how Marconi waves were used to capture the first person that, like a murderer that tried to escape England to the United States. They used wireless communication for the first time, and it was used to hunt this person.
To catch him as he was coming over the sea.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
I have this. This is gonna, maybe it puts me in the realm of like, that's just too weird. But if I can't sleep at night, so if I have insomnia, I'll go downstairs and lay on the couch and turn on Forensic Files.
Forensic Files is like, it's like potato chips. You know, you can just sit there and keep absorbing all the, and it's horrible stuff, man. It's crazy. Yeah. Is there a particular case on that show that you've like watched numerous times? You're like, oh, this one again. Yes.
Oh, I've been through all 9 collections probably 4 or 5 times. It's I think I watched the most.
You ever watch the South Park that makes fun of people like us? Like the adults are all watching informative murder porn, is what they call it. Yeah.
My husband says, "Are you threatening to murder me?"
On their parents' like TVs, because they're like, this is just making our parents think about murder, you know? And so, yeah. Anyway, there you go. But yeah, I enjoy that stuff too. Cold Case Files, Forensic Files, anything on Discovery Ideas. What's the one that Susan Sarandon hosts, where it's about death row case files or death row stories? That one's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
It's crazy because Netflix really does get to know you. So now, like, if there's a new true crime that comes up, it just puts it as that giant banner.
Yeah,
just knows I'm going to watch it immediately.
It's curating things for you. I get it. Yeah, I have a tendency when I'm working. I would watch Cold Case or Forensic, but what I've been binge watching a lot in the background, I got the Peacock app, and I've seen The Office from like start to finish, like probably like 7 or 8 times. But when I say watch it, I mean it's just playing in the background.
Yeah.
It's like a familiar sound that I like to have going when I'm inking pages and stuff. It's very zen. So, and then I look up because I know Dwight's going to do something stupid, or Jim and Pam are about to hook up or something.
But to answer your question earlier about the Forensic Files, there's one. Not all the Forensic Files are about murder, as my husband likes to say. But there's one that talks about how they figured out Legionnaire's disease. That one's my favorite Forensic Files because it feels like, how in the world did they ever figure it out? Because it was just such an impossible thing to track down. Like, they asked every single person within blocks, like everything they ate, drank, touched, thought about, whatever, and compiled all that data to try to figure out what had caused everyone's deaths.
It's crazy. I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh, it
sounds fascinating.
Really good.
So, yeah, I mean, that's where my passions lie, are in things like that, and that's what I wanted to do with this story in particular. I mean, you know, I wanted to do a serial killer story at its crux. That's what it is, but then it has supernatural elements, and then awesome like warrior fighting stuff. Yeah.
I think that people are, maybe it's because so many adults are into true crime right now, but the people that have delved into that in unique ways have been pretty successful. I'm thinking about like Nottingham by Mad Cave. That's totally about a serial killer, but it's told couched straight into the, Robin Hood.
Yeah, what's the deal with Nottingham? I've heard about the title. I've seen a couple of the covers. I didn't know what it was about though.
So it's from the point of view of the sheriff of Nottingham, and he is trying to track down a serial killer.
Is it Robin Hood? Is Robin Hood the serial killer?
We don't know yet. We don't know who it is.
Interesting.
But it's like, it's got all of the regular characters you expect from the Robin Hood universe, just not playing 100% their normal roles.
I dig that too.
It's kind of brilliant.
Yeah, I like alternate histories and stuff like that. I was reading an article today about Quentin Tarantino doing Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He's getting a lot of backlash for the Bruce Lee scene, but did you see it?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. The whole idea of them spinning the whole Sharon Tate murder the way they did, and then he did the same thing with Inglourious Bastards. Yeah. So, yeah, I enjoy stuff like that.
I'm really glad they changed it, because I was very unsettled in myself knowing that she was pregnant And I was like, I don't know if I can handle this.
Yeah. And then the way it was dealt with was very kind of gratuitous and paid off too. At the same time, you were like, yes, get him. So
what's so cool is if you listen to the soundtrack for that movie, they actually include all of that of the era commercials, radio commercials that you hear in the movie itself. So it's kind of weird. You'll be, you know, it'll take a break and give you a commercial for some random thing that's only from then.
Yeah, I mean, if there's nothing else, Tarantino is a master at what he's doing as far as his storytelling and how he puts crafts together his worlds and stuff like that.
Okay, I want to talk a little bit about Murder Hobo because it's my favorite book to read in which I have to wash my eyeballs out afterwards.
Yeah, so I basically, you know, that was a thing where a friend had started talking to me about murder hobos in their role-playing community. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what the heck is a murder hobo, right? And then they explained to me they're like these fun assassins that come in and they just like kill all the non-player characters that are quest givers or whatever. And you're just like, that's awesome. So this guy is just like an agent of chaos. And they're like, it's not awesome. They ruin like any good laid out plan. And I'm like, okay. And I was like, well, wouldn't it be funny if like there was a whole team of these people and what would that look like in that setting? And so that was the whole basic idea behind it. Jason had moved here from Cambridge. He lives in Portland now, Portland, Maine. And me and him had worked together previously at we were both graphic designers at a company called Emery Waterhouse. And so he actually taught me how to do a lot of things like Wacom tablets and using Illustrator and Photoshop and stuff like that. He taught me on all that. And so when he moved back to town, I was like, do you want to collaborate on something? Because my style of artwork, if you're not familiar with it, my style of artwork is more dark, heavy, like lines, and doesn't typically come off as like cartoony. And for Murder Hobo, I wanted it to not only be funny, but look funny too. And so he's heavily influenced by like Rick and Morty and Adventure Time and things like that. So it has that kind of like visual vibe to it. He did all the initial character designs. Ryan G. Brown has taken over as the head artist for the book, though. So the new banner on the top of issue 2, which I think comes out Wednesday as well, says instead of it saying Schmalke and Lynch's Murder Hobo, it says Schmalke, Lynch, and Brown's Murder Hobo. So
nice.
Partner, we actually just invited him in to, you know, be part of the group because he is the Murder Hobo artist. He really takes Jason's designs and he can run with them, and he's very fast and very professional, so it just made sense to cut it.
Love it. I have only a small amount of regret for the amount of times that people contact me and say, do I have them? But the first version of our variant that we were like, I don't know if I can do that as a family-friendly store.
Yeah, the first version, yours was the all-white cover with just his name's Roddy the Rotten on it, right? It's like the character design of it.
It was the one where he was holding like
the Silverbacks one. Silverback football variant. Yeah. The original one was, I think he had drawn. Yeah, it's a big sloppy dildo, and I was like, all right, you know, okay, cool, we'll do this. And then I think you had come back to us and you were like, it's good, but I don't want to, you know, I can't necessarily sell this. And we were like, all right, well, that's an easy enough fix. I had him go back and turn it into a beer bottle, right? But then James, he was like, I still like the dildo variant. So we made like 50 copies of it with it. And I think me and Jason are now, I have a couple copies that I always keep things for posterity.
Yeah.
But I think we're sold out at this point of that particular one. And then the beer bottle one is a very popular variant for us. I mean, of course, it's one of these things too. Murder Hobo came out once COVID was going on. So it'll be a whole other thing once we get back into shows regularly and everything, how things are selling. But now I have so many damn variants. It's like,
how do you do it?
I don't know what to bring to shows half the time. So it's like I mix it up. I'm like, all right, I'll just bring 10 of each of these, and it'll be whatever I just happen to have extras of. But again, my shop has a lot more stuff, but not everything, because I don't list everything. There's too much stuff.
Yeah.
Too much.
Do you find that for each convention, it has its own unique, like that's the hot variant at that show, and then you're like, okay, I'll bring extra ones of that one for next show, and that's not the one?
Yeah, well, so when I was starting out, it's much easier for artists clearly to make money at these shows than say a writer. So even though I was creating my own books and stuff, I have to draw people into my booth, and this is early on. So a lot of artists, they depend on prints and stuff like that, because your version of Thor or Captain America might really catch somebody's attention, and then they'll know about the rest of your stuff. Yeah, I've kind of done away with the print stuff at this point because other things have been going on. But yeah, that's how I would determine things. I was like, wow, I sold 10 of this print at that show, but it was never a point of book sales. Like book sales were pretty consistent. It was more getting the people to the table. Comic book collectors and readers, they tend to buy, like, if I have something, they're very, very few times have I been like, wow, that's just really not selling. I think I've been lucky that way.
Yeah.
So
what are you working on past We Don't Kill Spiders?
So we have an upcoming issue of the Electric Black in October, which is actually complete. We're adding a couple more pages to it to buff it up because it's a special. It's not necessarily double sized, it's just a larger issue. And it takes what happens at the end of Electric Black issue 4 and brings it into Electric Black Presents, and you actually get the origin of the Electric Black itself. And it also tells you what happened to all the characters at the end of issue 4. So all of that happens in this Electric Black Presents special that comes out in October, and it puts us back on a linear path moving forward for next year. So we will be making more Electric Black stories. Right now, me and Rich are trying to figure out what the future of the book looks like, because the intention was that me and him would always draw it together. But we only have so much bandwidth, right? So Rich is going off to do a couple other projects that he's been wanting to work on. And so it comes down to, am I going to be drawing the book, or are we going to hire somebody to come on and take over the art duties? Then I have Vice Admiral Count Draco Knuckleduster doesn't come out till like early August, late July, something like that. But after that comes out, the next book in the series is already, in production, and it's called Vice Admiral Acker, and it's another Phantom Starkiller story. There's going to be 4 of these issue ones that come out that all make one cohesive story for Phantom Starkiller. So it's Phantom Starkiller, Count Draco Knuckleduster. The next one is Vice Admiral Acker, and the last one is called Supreme Ruler Thubian. And we're hoping to have this all done by the end of next year. So
are these characters born out of the action figures?
Yes.
Okay.
So actually right here I have both Draco and Starkiller. And I did the original artwork for both Thuban and Acker as well. Peter designs the toys, and then he had me come on and do card art for them. So Starkiller, he's been awesome to us. Really helped Black Caravan out, getting us early on. And we had those legendary editions just came out too.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then, so this is the guy that's coming out in late July, is Count Draco Knuckleduster, and he's this sorcerer that made Starkiller. He's not necessarily totally evil, but he's definitely not a good guy either. He's sort of out for himself. I'd say he's more like a Destro type character.
Yeah.
So
I always tell people I think the universe feels a lot like He-Man, got married to the G.I. Joe universe.
Yeah, I mean, we did a deconstruction of, and I'm assuming that's how G.I. Joe and He-Man were made too, from like the couple of the toys that made us shows I watched, which was they had a toy and then they deconstructed it and built a story on it. And we did the same thing here with Starkiller. Now, Starkiller's been around since 2012. It's been a hit bootleg toy. And bootleg toys are basic. This is not a bootleg. This is an original Super 7 sculpted figure. Now it's like taken on a life of its own. But when Peter was making this, he was taking different figures and they call it kit bashing, taking them and putting them together, adding his own sculpts and stuff to it and painting it his own way. But ultimately, he was just, they're bootleg figures. And the original Starkiller and Knuckle Duster were bootlegs. Now, again, of course, they've turned into legit toys. And through our toy line that me and Peter work on with James and Don Hanfield, we are making the Tracker Collectibles is coming out with its own version of Starkiller now.
Nice.
So be on the lookout for that as well.
Oh, cool. All right. Well, we've run out of time, but please do share with everybody where you think they should come and interact with you. Where's the social medias?
The place to follow me is on Instagram. I post during the week pretty much daily. So that's at Schmalke on Instagram. On Facebook, you can follow me on Joseph Schmalke's Storyteller page. I tend not to take friend accepts anymore from my regular page just because that's sort of a place where I post family photos and stuff, and I don't want people that I don't really know looking at stuff like that and interacting with it. But my Storyteller page is all artwork and comic books and Black Caravan related stuff or toy stuff that I'm working on. So those are the two spots where you can reach me, and that's where I'll post my announcements for when my shop is open.
Perfect. All right. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah. Thanks
everybody. Make sure you put down on your pull lists these books so you don't miss them. And stay tuned. Coming up next, Chris Fernandez of Mad Cave Studios. Thanks, Joseph.
Take care.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back. It's time for some more Talking Shop with our friend Chris Fernandez from Mad Cave.
Hi, hello.
How are you doing?
I'm good, Jen. Good to see you.
I feel like it's been 2 years since we've got to see each other.
If it's not 2 years, it's coming up on it. That's for damn sure. Yeah, you're also the first person great, but you're the first person I speak to today, so hooray.
Wow.
Yeah, we're out of the office for the week, and it's pouring here, so I've basically been like stuck indoors all day.
Where's your office? I forgot where that case.
We're in like South Florida, Miami.
Oh, well, it makes sense you guys would be locked down. You guys all ready for this big storm?
No, we're it's not. Well, we're a little jaded in that sense. Like it's really not too big of a deal for us, but it's also it's gonna like skirt around us. So we're just kind of getting like those outer bands and dealing with like some heavy rain.
Okay, I'm glad to hear you're out of the damage path.
Yeah.
Being someone from Houston, Texas, in which it feels like we have a giant target on us.
I know you guys are like really dealing with it right now. Or not right now, but just overall in general.
Yeah, we're not having any kind of like hurricane problems right now, but I think it hasn't stopped raining in like, I don't know, a month or something.
Is it still raining?
Today it's already done its big storm.
Oh my God. I mean,
and maybe it'll go this afternoon again.
I understand you guys' pain. We're in the rainy season, so we're dealing with all that.
For you guys, if it's not rainy season, it's fire season. We don't really have fire season.
Oh well, if you're referring to the burning sun, yeah, absolutely. You step outside and you're instantly sweating.
Man. So how has the kind of like weirdness of this last 2 years affected how you do what you do with Mad Cave?
Ooh, me personally?
Yeah.
Oh, I've become extreme. I was already kind of organized, but like I've taken it like next level organization, where like every single step is like just written down, whether it's on like one of those work programs like Asana or an Excel sheet. So everybody's plugged in, and I started really implementing that, like doing like a big quarantine, and then that kind of just carried over when we kind of like started getting back into the office, and it's honestly it helped me realize that maybe I needed some organization or that to communicate better. So I mean, at least there's that.
Yeah. Was it about getting workflow, or was it about communication?
All of it. I mean, I think they kind of go hand in hand a lot of times, especially, just working with so many creators or people involved in marketing or, Manny, talking with Manny and getting organized with him. So I would say overall, all encompassing.
So I feel like you guys have done a good job of not putting too much out there, but also growing out into different kind of genres to bring new eyes to your line. Are you seeing a lot of response to all the different kinds of things, like your all ages books?
Yeah. So you're referring to Maverick? YA line? Yeah. We're officially launching in September, but the early reviews from librarians and a lot of the people that, like Manny, for example, or Allison shares the book with, or like the preview sample, has been really positive. And we know it's a step in a different direction for us, but that's the point. Right. So we're super excited to just like provide a book that people can really relate to and kind of like see themselves in the book. And it's for a different audience. I think there's a large part of Mad Cave that feels and relates to like the younger crowd, and there's a lot of us that, Manny, for example, and Chris Sanchez, our editor-in-chief, really are passionate about the YA market as a whole, and I think you can see it come through in the book. And you guys check it out. The first one we're launching in September is Needle and Thread.
Needle and Thread.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised. I'm going to mess the name of it. They came from the sky. They fell from the sky. I'm kind of surprised.
They fell from the sky. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of got like an all ages feel to it, I would definitely say. In my mind, it's kind of like E.T. Mars Attacks in a way.
Yeah.
I love that book. I mean, I'm a big fan of like that genre, like the kids kind of like growing up, or like E.T. Who doesn't like E.T.? You know what I mean? And when he's a cute little hamster, I mean, objectively, and I'm not just saying this, he is cuter than E.T. E.T.'s kind of scary. So, like,
It's
if I
true.
thought,
No lie.
what was that?
No lie. It's true. Because I can remember when I was young, can't remember how old I was when that movie came out. I remember us sitting in the theater and my mom turning around to my dad and being like, "What have you brought my children to?" Because the first half of the movie is a horror film.
It's terrifying. Yeah. I mean, if you saw him in the woods, what are you doing? I mean, I'm either running or like attacking. It's one of those two. I'm not like making friends with that thing.
Mm-mm.
No. But the little hamster dude in They Fell is just so cute. I remember seeing like his concept in like different outfits, like as an astronaut or like sad, slumped over a couch or something. And I was like, guys, how do you not like this guy?
Yeah.
This guy I keep. This guy comes home with me.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
So what's your favorite book in y'all's line?
It's really hard to choose. I'm not just saying that because I feel really like passionate about like Beckstar that's out right now. I think that book is a lot of fun. It brings like a really cool vibe to like a different sci-fi vibe than we've had before in the past with like Stargazer, for example.
Yeah.
Just more of like a space realm, like Firefly or Star Wars, of course. But besides Beckstar, Nottingham is killing it. You know, I'm really, really proud of that creative team, especially Shane. Both of them are talent search winners, but I'm just like so happy to see them succeeding. It really means a lot to me from that end. And if I have to go with like my favorite, like my heart says, is like, you know, I'm not a big medieval fantasy guy, but I love like working on Battlecats is like, it's always fun to me. The world is so big and expansive. Like, I know we're on the last volume. It's coming out this week, but like I just see so much story in that world. I love it.
Asia is on and saying that you are the best.
Oh, she's really sweet. I wouldn't say that at all.
So did you start with Battlecats from the beginning?
No, I came on probably closer. It's been a while, but I remember coming into Mad Cave and there was a few-ish, maybe like three issues-ish, done something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And we still even weren't like working with Diamond at that point. We just had like some issues and selling them by hand, and then little by little, I started getting more involved. But really, that book is like Giovanna Orozco, she's the main editor on that book. She's really like the hands-on with that. But I mean, I'm still a part of it. You know, Mark and we work 10 feet apart, so it's really hard for me not to get involved in some respects. But I love the 3 volumes, but they just keep getting better and better. I'm like really hoping for more Battlecats, but we'll see.
I can't see a reason why it would ever need to end. It's
know.
so funny. I'm sure you know the lore of this, but I saw Manny at quite a few different industry events and would look at the work, and really I thought that it was all the books look like high quality books, but he was always leading with Battlecats, and I'm like, in my brain, this is just because of the generation I grew up in.
I know
my brain could only say Thundercats copy. I never even cracked the book. He kept handing it to me, and I kept on being a butthead and saying, no, we already had this before. So I think we finally talked, and I said, you know what, I want to be wrong about it. I really, really do. So just send me what you think is a good representation of what you think people will pick up, and I'll make you an end cap in our store.
I remember.
Right in front of the register, so no one can miss it, and we'll see what happens. And
very proud.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It's still there. It really is the thing that's right across from our register still. But you know, out of all the things that came, like the Curse, Honor and Curse, and trying to remember what else he sent. It's like, sure enough, I think there were only 3 books when he came, or 4.
Yeah, only 4.
But sure enough, the thing that sold, Battlecats. So, and I read it, and I was like, oh, and I feel like a complete idiot. because it's really, really good. It has, I mean, the only thing that has anything that's like Battlecats or like Thundercats is because they are
Cats
that battle.
Yeah,
but it has everything else about the universe is so rich. It's
I
like
know.
you're reading about that they're feline characters.
There's so much, and like I see a copy of like Tales of Valdyria behind you, and that's like our anthology story or anthology like addition to the Battlecats universe, and like I think it's 4, maybe 5 issues in the trade. I think it's 5, and I could do another 3 of those. No problem. I already know where they would go. So time will tell. Time will tell.
The universe is really big for them, and I kind of in my heart would like to see it on like the screen.
Hell yeah!
They got the technology to do it.
I would love it. I think it's definitely something that I would have watched Saturday morning cartoons. I mean, 100%. It fits right in line with anything from late 90s, early 2000s, in my mind, animation.
Absolutely. What is coming up with Mad Cave that you are the most excited about?
Well, we talked about Maverick and Needle and Thread. I'm really, really excited for those books. The early reviews are super, super positive. Even for like books that we have down the line for Maverick, like World Class, which follows like this Colombian up and coming soccer player. He's not up and coming, but he's in high school, and it's basically his struggles with getting onto a team and bullies and the whole thing. All that's super positive. If we're going to talk Mad Cave, I am excited for 2 books, really. One is Bountiful Garden, which is more sci-fi.
Me too.
Yeah, cool. It's like Alien meets. I had something else for it, but I think Alien gives like a good vibe for the whole story. Or maybe it's my biases right now, but I'm playing Mass Effect, which is, I don't know if you're familiar with it, big old video game.
Yeah.
So I was like, maybe a little bit of Mass Effect in there as far as like exploration goes. Ivy Noel Weir is fantastic. The book is being edited by Steens. She's fantastic. I'm really excited for that. And it's actually coming out for Free Comic Book Day. So it's like everybody's going to see it. You know what I mean? That alone gets me excited. And the other book is The Last Session. And it's basically like this group. I believe they're leaving college. And they're playing their last D&D game from this game that they started like a decade ago. But in their last game, one of the players brings in, I think it's their new partner, and she kind of like throws a wrench in everything. But the art is so much fun, and like more than half the book maybe is spent in that D&D world, in that fantasy setting. And I cannot wait for you guys to check out that book. I mean, D&D alone is, has a huge audience. But when you set it, I think in the comic book world with like this expressive art that we chose for it, is really going to stand out. And we're doing like cover A and B for it. So cover A is going to be like standard cover, but cover B they're all going to be like the character sheets for each person in the game. I'm really excited to see how that does, and it's a really fun story.
Okay, so is your main character? I'm only saying this because we were just talking about the book Murder Hobo. Is she a murder hobo? No, she doesn't come in. She's not just there to wreck everything up.
She's not wrecking NPCs or nothing like that.
Oh, okay.
She just doesn't know how to play D&D,
Then she'll win.
Well, you'll have to read the last issue to find out.
That was the thing that, so my son used to run our family Star Wars RPG. And he had to quit out because we annoyed him so much. Because every single thing we did, we would, if we killed something, we would scavenge everything usable. If we if there was a broken something on the side of the road, we'd be like 3 sessions in and have our own starship. And he was like, no.
Wait, you're talking about the Old Republic?
Yeah.
Oh man, you're taking me back. You're taking me back. Wow, you guys had a family account?
Yeah.
How did you not tear each other to pieces?
I don't know. We we play it in this most low-key way, I guess.
Yeah, same here. I played for maybe close to 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I played pretty low-key. I was usually by myself. I had like one friend that I would play with, but it was like my own little playground. Love it.
So you primarily do editing. Do you have any designs on doing your own project, like writing? Are you an artist on the side?
I'm like so comfortable and self-aware that I don't. I love editing. I love working with the creators, and like I like to let everybody have fun with their projects and do their own thing. But I love being involved, and I love like the back and forth of building a book or like a universe. In like the case with Mark and his titles, they all, I don't know if you've noticed, but they're all big. None of them are self-contained stories. They're all like their own universe and their own. I mean, one of them is freaking time travel. Woman Heart coming out. Oh, Woman Heart's coming back in October.
So is it really? I was like,
yeah. Well, we just announced it like maybe like 2 weeks ago. It's coming back in October with issue 8, and it's a time travel book. Like the cliche. I mean, you hear everybody like talk and argue about time travel. I mean, imagine taking those conversations and then trying to make something like that makes sense for the writer or for like the creative team. It's so difficult, but I enjoy it. Like I'll walk into Mark's office. I'll be like, hey, since we're in like this timeline, did this actually happen? Would they have the same color hair? But wait, didn't he do this in this timeline? And how does that affect this? And he's like, no, you're not getting it. And sits me down for like 20 minutes. I'm like, oh, okay, it's like this paradox. Gotcha.
Do you guys just have like a bunch of Post-it notes trying to keep everything straight?
I mean, they're not Post-it notes anymore, but we basically have like a giant sheet. You can't see my hands. Giant sheet. Where am I?
Yes.
Giant sheet of like how things play out throughout the timeline, and there's parallel timelines, so like bouncing back and forth. That one gives me a little bit of a headache sometimes, but I enjoy it nonetheless. Yeah.
Speaking of timelines, are you a Loki watcher?
Okay, so not yet, because the way I watch all the Disney shows we're on episode 4 now, or 5? 5 is this week.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I'll start watching on Friday, and then I'll binge it, and then wait for the last episode.
Oh, okay.
That's what I did with all of them, really all of them.
But how do you avoid the spoilers? Because that's why I watch them like as soon as I can. Like I usually watch them. I don't get to watch them until Thursday night because Wednesday nights too. Like I can't stay up till 3. My answer to people are like, "Why didn't you watch it last night?" I'm like, "Well, because I work retail and I have to be here at 10."
No way. I'm waiting till 3 in the morning. No, the way I do it, I'm not crazy on social media, so I'm not like on it every day, and then I just don't click the articles.
Yeah.
I know, like, for example, like when people, I think this last week, everybody was like freaking out because something happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I know something crazy is going to happen in episode 4 when I go to watch it.
Yeah.
But I don't know what. And then I saw like a title today, actually. It was like, this is Loki's world and we're just playing in it or something like that. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I wonder what that means.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But I love Loki as a character, so I'm super excited.
Yeah, there's a lot of timeline things that are out right now. I was thinking of Loki, and then there's a new movie, The Tomorrow War, that you can watch at the movie on Amazon Prime, I think. Yeah.
Did you see it?
Yes, it's really, really good. It's
really good. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it has all the things that I love because I'm also a fan of movies that other people probably didn't like Skyline, which was another aliens kind of based flick.
I think I remember it.
Mm-hmm. Where everyone they would come in. The ships would come and shine lights, and if you looked at them, you would float up into the ship. They would harvest you that way. I
gotta Google that. Absolutely.
Yeah, if you haven't watched Skyline, it's really good.
Okay, I'm Googling. I just Googled it right now. Cool. No, I don't remember this. I love sci-fi stuff. What's your favorite action movie? Since we're talking about the Tomorrow War.
There's a lot of stuff that I love. Everyone asks me these questions, but I find it to be impossible to answer them.
Mostly
because I like so many things. Man, if you just gave me what's your favorite sci-fi movie starring X character, I'd have a hard time doing it. But I find myself being obsessive compulsive about watching things. So I'll get myself in a cycle. Like there are some movies that I'll watch over and over again, like Arrival.
I love Arrival.
Inception, The Martian, Interstellar. There's just something about those that I can watch a billion times.
They all have like a very calming vibe in a sense. I haven't seen Interstellar, so I can't speak for that. And I'm really like, I wish I have. I should see it.
There's a part that's very unnerving. It has a jump scare aspect to it. It has nothing to do with aliens at all. It's just a situational thing, and you know it's coming, and it doesn't matter.
Oh my god!
It's still like stretches you out to the max. It's mostly to do that the music is so good that it forces you there. If that makes sense.
Absolutely, music is an integral part of movies that people often overlook. So I feel you on that one.
Yeah, JD is saying Skyline is a combo between a sci-fi action movie and a David Mamet one act.
Oh, okay. All right, high praise.
Yeah, so the main character in Skyline is a fellow. I'm not gonna be able to remember his name as an actor. I feel so bad, but he played.
Yeah, I googled it. Eric Balfour.
Yeah, he played Duke on a show called Haven, which is an adaptation of a Stephen King.
I remember the show. I never saw it, but I remember the ads for it for sure.
Because I knew him from Haven before I knew him from this movie.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like a sucker for anything sci-fi, so I'll definitely check that out.
I'll send you a giant list.
Oh my god, please! You don't understand. I'll work through it, especially like if we have a storm coming tomorrow. If it gets even like relatively like crappy out, maybe I'll do a couple of the movies you recommend.
All right. Where should everyone follow you on social media? Because I try to find you on social media, and you're a reclusive person, I believe.
Quite. You could find me on Matt Cave Studios' Twitter and Instagram that I check, and just be like, "Hey, Chris," and I'll be like, "Hey, it's me. It's not anybody else from Matt Cave. It's not Manny or Allison or anybody. It's me." Or you can contact at Mad Cave Studios and be like, "I'm looking for Chris," because I'm usually the one who replies. Don't tell anybody. Yeah. But I'm always nice because I know one day it'll come back to me.
Perfect. Chris, I look forward to seeing you in person again.
Yes.
Hopefully conventions will start rolling again, or at
Another
least
dinner.
industry meetings.
How's another dinner sound?
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
That was lovely. I'm still full from it.
It was great. Yeah, I can't wait. I really can't wait. Can't wait to travel. We're going to be doing New York this year.
Oh, perfect. I think everyone got a pro badge. Everyone that my entire feed was full of like, I'm a pro.
Are you heading out there?
I don't have plans to go.
Okay.
I just don't know how to fit it in because I'm always live.
Fair enough. Well, if you do go, you have like an outstanding invitation? Something like that?
Yeah.
Of course. You're more than welcome.
Likewise, if you ever come to Texas, you got a place to stay because
don't
that's
even.
the way we roll.
I'm looking to travel this year. I'm sure a lot of people are saying that. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Chris, for taking time out of your day and come visit with us. Stay safe out there in Florida.
You too, Jen. It was great seeing you.
Thank you. And everyone out there in the experience land, stay tuned because there's more of me coming up. I've got mishmash.